Welcome to the bottom line discussion. Francis, good evening from my end to you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend and brother Paul. How are you this cozy Friday evening from Stockholm, Sweden?
Right. The thing is, the UK today is London is really nice and warm today. The temperature today was 22 degree. So when we don't see sun that often, so when it comes, everybody's trying to wear t-shirts and enjoy the beauty of the nature that God gave us. So that's how things are today here. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I guess the weather on your side is same.
No, not quite. We be having. I mean, it's kind of sunny, but a little windy on the way. I was out there not too long. I just came from no, they have this old school party every month from 5 to 9. Plays music from the 80s, 90s. We're just jamming out there. People still got wearing jackets and stuff,
Oh,
a light
oh, oh.
jacket. So
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
and Stockholm is very packed. We have people from all around the world. Man, got tomorrow is a marathon. We're having the Stockholm marathon tomorrow. It's a big event, just like the London and New York marathon. We just had the ice hockey world championship here, so the city have been for the last 3 weeks. The city has been full of people, man. So it's
Well,
exciting.
yeah, I know during the summer or is this time of the year because I remember once I was in Stockholm, they had an African music festival in the town center. Is that the time of the year or during the summer?
Yeah. It's between now June. I mean, basically, it starts the event start June, July, August. I mean, the marathon is held this time because a little bit, you know, it's not humid. It's a little
Mhm.
bit in between. So, yeah. So, but hopefully next week is in June. We'll have a better weather and a lot of activities will be going on, man. The city gonna be full. A lot of activities, a lot of stuff. I remember the African. I remember that when talking about. I was at this Nigerian girl. Probably Nigerians. I was our concert.
Is that the one who sang Where's My Johnny?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Were
I
you
was
there?
in I was in Stockholm that day.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I
miss
was in
out.
Stockholm.
I
Yeah,
was there. My wife, my daughter, myself, we were at that concert.
right.
You know.
Great. So today, what we'll be looking at today, we'll be looking at newspaper clip from Liberia. There's something happened today. We got to talk about it. The president, GMB, crash landing. This is very scary. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the council of churches, how useless they are. We'll be looking at the council of churches. But before we come to the Liberian news, we'll also go international. And the international will look at Africa. We'll come to Africa, and then we enter in the Middle East today, and a little bit about what is happening in Ukraine. That will be the topic of the ball. The scariness of the crash landing of the president, that is something that one have to look at. What led to it? Is it because the runway is not good? Because few months, I think now sometime last year, Air Morocco also ran off that runway. Is that a runway that causing this thing? Is something that we need to look at and have a discussion. But before we do that, we'll ask our viewer to kindly share the show. While we share, we'll go to play our national anthem. Linfa will be joining us in the studio already, and then we dive into this. So please share the show.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed and not unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we both tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go for us. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go for us. With their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed and not unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we both tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie.
Good evening and welcome to the Bottom Discussion. With me today in Studio B is Linfo Agugwan and Francis Mensa in Studio C. Gentlemen, good evening. Good to have you all today. This is the Friday edition. How you guys doing?
Well, from my end, I think everything is okay, and Good sunshine. Nothing to complain about so far.
Oh man, you the best person, man. You in Paris, there's nothing to complain about. Francie, anything to complain about? You muted.
Yeah, the weather. I mean, to complain. I mean, uh, the weather is one aspect from Sweden, and another aspect is Liberia. A
Right.
lot of crazy things going on in that country. Yeah. But we would dissect them. We'll talk about it. We'll give our views.
So, to our viewers, if you join here for the first time, kindly share the show and then click on our page. You see the Borderland discussion. Click on it and then click on the like button will show. This is what we're going to talk about today. Council of Churches in Liberia to honor Rachel Cohn. They did the honoring today. Something that will look at. Is the church serious in Liberia? Another major story today, the president, Leonard GMB, this is a serious thing, and we got to look at it, but the plane crashed the tire bit. We got to look at this, it's serious. But before we get into this, we just ask our viewer to kind of share the show. And before we move on to Liberia, we got a few things to look at. We'll look at Africa today, and then we'll also look at the Middle East and close on Europe. So before we get into our topic, we want to take a quick commercial break, and then we can start our ball rolling. So stay tuned, enjoy the show, kindly share the show. It will be interesting to know whether the churches in Liberia are this serious. So it's something that we need to look at. Are the churches serious in Liberia? And the crash landing of the GM president, Joseph Newman Barker, is the wrong way okay? What's happening to Liberia? Is that devil beating us now instead of God? It's something we'll look at. So we'll take a quick commercial break and then we get into our topic. Can you share the show?
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Ham's Vodka, Ham's Honey, Ham's Bitter, and Ham's Original Vodka. Ham's Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Ham's Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Ham's Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Ham's Vodka or www.handsvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hands North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hands Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hands Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are stand. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Right. To our viewers, want to say those that are watching from YouTube, Jala TV, and the bottom, want to say welcome to the Borderland discussion. Can you share the show? It will be interesting to know. Gentlemen, we're going to go straight into the topic. Months ago, this general called General Landley from the U.S. That talked about Burkina Faso leader using his gold to enrich himself. And this that sparked a lot of trouble around. People came out in solidarity to talk about Ibrahim Traore to back him. He had an interview on with a Kenya journalist, and this is interesting to hear what he had to say. These guys, they're not giving up on Traore. They still want to get rid of him. And I want our viewer to listen to this interview, one comments from you all. And then from there, we'll be looking at what has happened in Gaza. And also, why is it Russia and Germany now are lockerhead? We'll be looking at that. So let's take a quick glance at this interview by the Kenya journalist to this general.
On African soil, not for the first time, but this would be a good moment to ask about one of the countries that has taken its own autonomy, and that's Burkina Faso. Your remarks recently at the Senate seem to suggest that he's diverting, that's General Traore, is diverting its 4 billion gold reserves to sustain his military rule rather than for public welfare. These remarks sparked widespread condemnation across the continent. What did you mean by that statement?
Let me speak to Burkina Faso's sovereignty. They maintain their sovereignty. They make their decisions how they use their resources. They make their decisions who their resources go to for military support. That's their sovereign right. But my cautionary tale was just from a military perspective. That was a Senate Armed Services Committee asking me a direct question. Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward, okay? But then when you look at the military part of it, knowing that that's the epicenter of global terrorism, it was my time to illuminate that this is probably their weakest point, and there needs to be sufficient resources going towards for the whole fight of terrorism in that country, period. They make their decisions, though. That's their sovereignty, their sovereign right to make their decisions, what is appropriate, what's not. But I wanted to illuminate that is going in the wrong direction now. ISIS is getting stronger. JNIM is getting stronger. Al-Qaeda in the lands of the Maghreb is getting stronger in that country.
And do you think it's getting stronger after General Traore took over?
It has. Just look at the numbers of attacks. It really has, since 2022. I've been tracking this since I took command. So, no ill will towards him, but the decisions is their own. They're looking for other ways to be able to, they're still on warfighting footing. It's just going to take more resources.
So you stand by that statement? Because there's been pressure on you to walk those statements back.
That's my statement. That's my assessment. That is getting worse. More needs to be done for not just local, but whole of country, because of these violent extremist organizations are seeking revenue, they're seeking resources, they're seeking recruiting from the Burkinabe people, and they're seeking refuge within their country. That threatens their sovereignty.
And that threatens America's interest?
Say again?
Does that then threaten America's interests?
Yes, thank you for asking that. Because especially ISIS, and of course in East Africa is inextricably linked all the way to ISIS West Africa, ISIS Sahel, and there's going to be probably a move afoot for them to move and seek refuge within the line. So we have shared objectives, and we offer to work together with the Burkina government and border countries. Mali, Niger, coastal West Africa countries, collective, because here's what these organizations do. Here's what these terrorist organizations do. They seek refuge in the seams or the borders of these countries and lets them thrive and grow and lets them recruit, gain resources to carry on their illicit and nefarious activities against the populations, people.
And what would America, perhaps AFRICOM, be prepared to do? Would you be considering an ouster like we saw with Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? Because there's still many Africans who are yet to recover from that. If this is a bigger threat, as you say, in Burkina Faso, what is AFRICOM prepared to do about it?
We do indications and warnings. There's a number of activities that we do, and we'll just go ahead and mention building institutional capacity. There's not going to be U.S. boots on the ground. Very, very small for exchange of ideas and training, exercises. Over time, that builds institutional capacity and capability in these armies.
Gentlemen,
This
there was the interview by this Britain woman from Kenya, this journalist. Put the guy on the spot. This is the situation that Tuareg faced with.
Liberia, look, Paul, Liberia, we see that Vla, that guy talking. That guy, he will cut the pens down. He couldn't, I mean, you could see it. Look at his body language. You know, then he's lying. I mean, I don't know, but he's lying saying that was a direct question that Congress asked him or whoever. If Congress asks you about the peace and security of the country, it has to be tied down with the man's wealth, taking the country's wealth to protect himself. No, I mean, that's the problem with these Americans. That's the problem they have. They claim or they're trying to, what you call it, advocate up on themselves that they know everything. I mean, what kind of intelligence? What kind of look? It's just bizarre that they just don't want this young man to succeed. They just don't want him to be, I mean, the talk of Africa. You know, they want to control, and he's not giving them the chance. That's why it's hurting them. He keep France up. You know, he bringing other people closer. He using his own people. No, I mean, those days of the colonialism, you know, authoritarian, I don't know how to call it, but it has to stop. It's in Africa, the Pan-Africanism, that ideology is getting across the continent. It won't be now, but in the next 10 years or so, African countries will be doing away with these guys completely.
And Frank said the woman asked him a question, and I know Linford will jump in. He said, what is America's interest? She said, what is America's interest? You far away across the Atlantic. West Africa have absolutely nothing to do with you. Where is your interest? Where's the security threat to you? The guy who in Syria, the current president, he was Assad's boss. It was $10 million on his head to date the friends with that guy. So what Burkina Faso, that fighting this group, Boko Haram, and all that, what that have to do with America that's far away from them? What say you?
Go ahead, Linford. Or you want me, let Linford go into that? I'll come in.
Well, you know, that Kenya journalist, she had a perfect opportunity, but she missed it. If it was several journalists that I know, including myself, now, let me welcome a couple of people here. Let me welcome my former workmate, a world-renowned journalist, presidential cover. He covered the presidency extensively in Liberia, Sisi Pade. This one person, if he was the one on that interview, I'm sure General Langley would have admitted. No. And then let me work on also Philip Carty, Claro Carr, and Stephen M. Koyan. Welcome. Please help out to share the show. And of course, our regular child, Della Chilople Brown or Brian Chilople. Now, but let me say this. That girl missed the opportunity. She asked a perfect question from the start. Okay? And General Langley dodged the question very cleverly. Because the question was, or the statement he made, was that Traore was using a goal to protect himself. Okay? And then he broke his own neck. He admitted that he lied. And you know what he said? He said it is the right of the Burkinabes to use their resources the way they want to use it. Okay? So then why did you say so the guy should have brought him back? Because he started talking about the military part. Okay, fine, the military part. But if you knew it was the military part you were referring to, why did you accuse the man himself for protecting himself as a leader? So, when she missed the opportunity, she had the chance, she missed it. I hope another journalist will grab General Langley. And like Francis said, you will see that the guy was lying. The body language. Anybody who watching, you can see him. How he trying to fix, like damage control, right? Like when you lie, you in court, and then they catch you with your pants down. They got all evidence against you, and then you try to fix it. So that was very bad on General Langley's part. And like Traore said in one of his videos, he said if this general knew that he got false information, and he went out and said this, and he can still come back and say, I'm sorry, the information I got was not right, which he just said. What he postulated it by saying that it is the right of the people to use their resources. So then, what is your interest then? That's what they get asked. What is your interest? And then he started talking about all these things. So you could see that the guy was just off balance.
Interesting, the poor and Linford, when he tried to juxtapose treaty with capacity building and the poor national security, that's what they're using the money for. Exactly. That's the country's money. That's what they're using it for. And talking about there have been an increase in the attack. Obviously, there will be an increase in the attack because you guys are supporting the rebel. I mean, the people, I don't call it rebels or who insurgents or who you call them terrorists. You guys are supporting it on the head.
And this is the funny thing about it. The guys, the ISIS itself in the Middle East, they were fighting America because of a particular cause that what they did to how they call Saddam Hussein, and with going after Syria and other places. So they had a reason why they were doing it. But why were ISIS recruit itself in Africa for what that have nothing to do with you, America? You only sponsor them to go there to destabilize those people. That's what they're there for. So, and this guy, you say, oh, the man enriching himself with the natural resources. Then now you somersaulted again to say, oh, no, we got to do capacity building. What that have to do with you? We have before the Sahel nation became one, we had ECOWAS, we get the AU. These are people that are in the region. What it have to do with America? You far away. We don't need you there. And this is the point. So Linford, the guy, I think he blew it, and everybody know that the purpose of their being there is to get rid of Traore because the young man is prospering that they don't like. Because the woman asked him, will they be the same thing with Gaddafi?
Exactly. I was just about to talk. I was just about to bring it up. Because how long it taking that country to call an Africans, matter of fact, to call, because we had a lot of projects. Gaddafi had a project in Liberia, that rice in Lofa County. You have projects in all other countries. I mean,
you see, the same thing that they did in Iraq. It's the same kind of thing they want to do, but they know now that what happened in Iraq was lie, and so they cannot design it the same way. And Burkina Faso is a third world country, suffering country, poor country, as people can call us, African country, right? So you can't say we get weapons of mass destruction. We get nothing. And a gun you see in Africa, it comes from Europe. Okay, if it is not AK-47 coming from Russia, it will be M16 coming from America. So you can't say any African country get big weapon that is scale up. So they're looking for a way. But in the world, there's no way American people work and pay taxes to the American government, and the American government take that tax, the people tax money and protect the president. Buy him or car call, how they call the presidential limousine again?
The beast.
The beast, which is several $1 million. The president got Air Force One. The president got Air Force One helicopter.
The man got 3-4 beasts.
Everything. So what's wrong with another president of another country using his money to protect himself when he's a leader? So you want him to be vulnerable? But then he tried, and like I said, the journalist, she did well, but she missed the mark at a certain point. And that this is one of the dangers when you're having a one-on-one interview, because sometimes you don't think about all of the questions. So if it were like 2, 3, 4 journalists, I'm sure one of them was going to stay calling back. That question.
No, but the woman embarrassed the man enough. I mean, he said he couldn't. The man, God couldn't. He couldn't get the rhythm. He couldn't make sense into what he was saying. You could see, you could hear in the voice, her body language. She was like, so bad. That was a good interview.
At some point, he heard a question and must say, "What? So, what is America interest in this?" He said, "What?" For her to repeat, there's nothing it got nothing to do with America. You see? So all of this nonsense that is seen. So now you said now Saudi Arabia that the Saudis don't like their leadership, but they use the country money. Why can't they go top of the Saudis government?
I tell you,
it's just complete nonsense. So they try to find
welcome, Fred Yampo. Welcome.
Yeah.
If this is our first time, this is in Portland, Liberia. We are here every Friday, every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 9 o'clock Central European time, and 8 o'clock UK time. So you can take the opportunity next Tuesday to join us. We discuss the issues here. We usually say on this program, most of what we're talking about or we'll talk about tonight, we have heard it before, but we just like to, put in our own views on how the issues are. So, some don't say, oh, maybe we not hear it. No. Even if you heard it before, but when we discuss it, we take it from different angles. So Paul is in UK, Francis is in Sweden, I'm in Norway, and our other colleague is now on tonight. But we are here every Tuesday and Friday, so make it your home. Paul, continue.
Yeah, so let's move on to the Middle East. This is one of the famous journalists called Pierre Morgan. He was able to get the Israeli ambassador in the UK on his podcast. And Pierre actually went after this woman because she's a good talker. She's been going on all the major media here, pushing the agenda, the reason why they're killing people in Gaza. She just been giving all kind of story that the Western people buy into. But this guy was able to corner her. I want you to listen to this interview that he had, and he was on fire.
You're waging a systematic destruction, not just of property and of land, but also of children. And that's what's happening. The percentage of children that you're killing compared to the percentage of you're killing of Hamas terrorists, what is it? Do you know? Do you know how many children you've killed? Hang on. Answer me that one question. Do you know how many Hamas terrorists you've killed and how many children you've killed? Do you know those two numbers?
I know the numbers that came from the IDF. I know the numbers that came from a very, very established
Give me the two numbers.
Wait a second. We killed 30,000. We killed 30,000 terrorists in phase 1 of the war. Since the war is back, I don't have the numbers. But let me tell you one thing. We
And
never
how many children have you killed?
We never target civilians. So this question is irrelevant.
How many children have you killed?
Pierce, Israel is not killing children. Israel is not killing children. Hamas is using them as human shields.
Israel is killing children every single day.
Pierce, this is a blood label you're putting on Israel. You know it's not true.
No, it's not actually. And what you're trying to do is be very weaselly with your words.
No, I'm not.
The truth is, you are killing a lot of children. You would argue you're doing.
You know why it's caused?
Hang on, let me finish.
Hamas is using them as human shields, and you know that.
Let me finish my question to you. You are killing a lot of children on a daily basis. That is indisputable. My interesting question for you is, how come you know exactly how many Hamas terrorists you've killed, but you have no idea how many children you've killed? Because you know how many terrorists you've killed, you say, but you have no idea how many children. Because those are the people we targeted. So how many children have died in the process? Why don't you know that number too?
Piers, please ask this question to the people that can give you the answer. I don't have the answer.
Who has the answer?
Please don't ask me questions.
Who has the answer? Who has the answer?
I don't have the answer. And I will tell you something.
You're the Israeli ambassador to my country. Who else should I ask?
Well, you should ask one question. How do you make sure that the 7th of October won't be repeated? And this is the question you and everyone who criticizes Israel at the moment doesn't have the answer to. And again,
here's a question.
We are not denying the fact that war is a bad thing, but we never wanted this war.
Why don't you let international journalists into Gaza so they can report fairly and freely without being led around by the IDF? Let the journalists in, because you banned them. And the only reason you continue to ban international journalists from going in there is not because of our safety, as you also quaintly put it. It's because you don't want the Western journalists to get in there and see what's really happening. Only you know why. Only the Israeli government knows why you want to continue banning journalists from international media organizations coming in at their own risk assessment and actually working out whether anything you're saying is true or not. And it may be if you let the international journalists in, well, let me just finish. It may be if you let them in, then they wouldn't just count the number of terrorists who are being killed. They'd be also able to record how many children are being killed, because it strikes me as utterly extraordinary that you, as the ambassador to my country, are able to say with complete clarity and certainty 30,000 Hamas have been killed, but you seem to have absolutely no idea how many children have died in the process. No idea. Or you have no interest. I don't know which one it is.
Piers, let me go back to your question about the journalists. I think in the end of the day,
let them in.
We are coming to the point where journalists will be allowed to get into Gaza as long as there is no risk for them. And you know
it's got nothing to do with you, the risk to journalists.
It's
not your problem.
From my point of view,
it's not your problem.
Once there is no risk to their life, I'm sure they'll be allowed to get in.
What a load of flannel, Ambassador. Don't treat us like idiots, please. We're not idiots. You're not doing it for our safety. You've banned the journalists so that they don't report on what is actually happening. Only you know why you're doing that. I don't know. Maybe you're doing everything completely fairly. Maybe it is the most moral war ever waged in history, as you keep saying. But the longer it goes on without you allowing journalists in, the less people believe that, and the more people believe you have something to hide.
Wow.
Now, you see what I was talking about? If you grab these people, when you already know, you've done your research, and you know that this particular individual is guilty, and you corner them, you see, she couldn't talk. You got the guy lay out. Okay, tell me pretty well. The war started. You are the ambassador of your country to another country. Now, you are on the social media trying to defend the war. Okay. The man put a simple question to you. How many people have you killed? You gave exact figure. I said to say you on the battlefield. You're not military man. You're not fighting. You gave exact figure. Okay? So you can say, well, I'm ambassador. So the military in my country has briefed me. So this is why I'm giving the exact figure, right? Okay, we agree. Take for granted. But then when war fight, everybody that know that when war fight, when you bomb, indiscriminately, even the Hamas you kill in the gay family. So if you targeted a Hamas man in his house, his family there, his wife and children, one of the children would die. So in the process, we agree, 30,000 you have killed. But in the process, how many children have died? You say, I don't know. Oh, so what barometer do you have to register only adults or, I call them Hamas terrorists, but they cannot register the children as well. You see?
And the women as well.
Yeah, and the elderly. In war, not everybody will get killed by ammunition or bomb or whatever. Some people die from shock, some people die from hunger, people die from sickness, But again, this is it. This is a war. And she's boastfully talking about killing 30,000 people. 30,000 is a population of some of the countries in the world. It's a small country. That's a population.
Yeah. Francis, what say you?
Look, these people are complete murderers. They are butchers. And look, and they claiming that they have killed Hamas as a terrorist group. What made Hamas a terrorist group?
Exactly.
When the people defending themselves, defending their sovereignty, they want the lands that have been forcibly taken away from them, that have been encroached upon. Then they defend themselves because they do not have an army. Palestine have an army? No.
They don't even have police.
Exactly. So who will defend the people? It's a moral obligation by the Palestinians to group themselves. The PLO, they killed the PLO. With that same propaganda that America and its allies at the time they branded the PLO as anti Jewish, anti-Western, Now you have Hamas.
I think anti-Semitic or something.
Anti-Semist group. Now you have Hamas are standing up for these people, Liberian terrorists. And you have the audacity to come on international wire to say you get 30,000 people. And the total death toll in the war since 2 years ago has been up to 100,000. So you kill 30,000. Who cared about 70,000 people?
You see?
There is sheer nonsense, excuse my language, but look, it's unacceptable. It's good that people like Piers Morgan that are coming out and to engage the people heads on so that they will know the word. And the Israeli government will understand that, hey, this you guys doing is wrong. I send you guys, I share a clip in our chat where even the Israeli themselves have placards at the military, one of the military, facility with dead babies, Palestinian babies. Yeah, they were in line. The Israelis themselves, they had a placard, and the RDF forcibly got them away from the place. Use brute force on their own citizens because they're showing evidence that, hey, why are you killing the people? Why are you killing? These are feature they are innocent people. Go after Hamas. Hamas is not uniform. You know Hamas. You can't tell it. Look, you just kill Hamas, the leader again. So you continue killing everybody who stand up to be stand up to represent people in the name of associating with Hamas. Look,
let me get before Paul comes in. You see, I like the way the journalists. I think it's from the UK or which?
Yeah, Piers Morgan
from the UK. Yeah,
okay, but he doesn't hold back. You see, and fire him.
Yeah, you see how you push out to the war. Why are you stopping Western journalists from coming to Israel? And then she can't answer it. And then the guy gave her the reason. Say because you are hiding something. And the more you continue to stop foreign journalists from covering, then it is clear to the world that there is something that you're hiding. Because if you say, okay, we are killing Hamas, if you kill 30,000 Hamas, if you look at one day you kill about 10,000, call the foreign press and come and say, look, these are the Hamas we kill. Yeah, they with guns. Yeah, they got military weapons. This and what we capture and whatever. But you only kill it one secret and then you can give the figure. You never invited anybody. Then, but because you're afraid of the media to go in. But the same media is why you will come and sit down and tell the world that you are succeeded in killing 30,000. How does that make sense? Okay.
And what sort of Saturday they have? Because when they bomb building and destroy everybody, the Saturday will tell them how many people in that building are Hamas.
I don't know how they measure it. How they measure the life. Maybe they got something that can measure the lives of people who die.
They have their own soldiers on the ground. These are the people.
The last time
they are the referees. They are the doctors. They monitor everything.
Tuesday when we had a show, I said something. It sounds bad. Nobody will let you hear that thing. People take it to be threat. But I said this thing, and trust me, if it is not happening in the next 10 years or 50, 40 years, maybe the next 100 years, no, the whole world will have to go to war. Listen to what I'm saying. People take it for fun because you got countries that are supporting other countries to carry out mayhem, to wipe our whole entire nation. Eh? And then the rest of the other countries are looking. Look, let me tell you, every time I talk, I got to give some parable. If you see hundreds of people in a town and one of them die, but they got to put this guy in a casket, but if they get hundreds, but it cannot fit, they got to break a boom. So the rest of them that are still alive will start crying. They are not actually crying because their friend died or the other guy with the hunchback died, but it's because when they die, they imagine that when they die, this is how they're going to be breaking their bones. Okay? So you got, today is Palestine. So who next will turn to? There could be some African countries, the way African countries are rising up now. It could be another African country that they all will turn to and start killing all the people that are there. So the rest of the world is waking up to the reality of what's happening in Palestine or in the Gaza, in Gaza. See, people are seeing it.
But But
if this is happening to one nation and some big hands are on it, and nobody, they say United Nations or this and that, nobody talking. So who's next? It could be.
Well, the UN has spoken. UN has criticized, Qatar has criticized Israel, and America shut him down. Every time he comes, all the criticize some UN, America will shut and Israel will shut them down. Even the Western countries here now they find they see that this has gone beyond human comprehension and has gone beyond any civilized a state, a nation state. You know, people evolve, people well-being. So now they're creeping gradually to start to criticize. But yeah, this is my concern, guys. The criticism is this just for public, just a mob service thing, lip service that they come out publicly to criticize Israel now sanctions. What cannot take actions? European Union specifically, who has granted
this is share. Or I don't know. Last week we played some of the video on this something that where somebody said one of the videos one of them mentioned that it says just talking, no action.
Yeah.
You know?
So
you see, it's shared lip service. It's like, okay, they all know. And let me tell you, the thing they call NATO is a deep organization. This NATO here, they all backing each other. Okay, so if America is supporting something, the rest of the NATO countries will follow. At some point, they will ally, nothing happening. They play something called conscious innocence. You know it, but you don't know it. Conscious innocence. That's what they do. They sit there and watch it. Okay? If America says today, let war stop, it will stop. But Great Britain wants to say, but who is Great Britain? In the NATO, they are just the followers. France, they are just followers. Because why? They are dependent on a big godfather. If anything will happen to them, that godfather will come to their aid. I mean, I hope you try to read what I'm saying. So they will talk. Someone will get and say, But on the hand, they have already had conversation somewhere on telephone. Okay, so we are going to condemn or say something. Let the people know that. But like I said, I'm not threatening. It's a reality. World war will have to fight and wipe some people, some country out until things will be straight. It's a fact. You may not like it. Of course, I can't start world war, so nobody can hold me. I can't start it. But I'm seeing something. There's something that I'm seeing. I don't even have a razor blade in my house, so I can't start a world war. But if you see something happening, it's good to warn about it. Somebody will say, we remember one guy used to say this thing, because the world is going the wrong direction. The world is going the wrong direction. And if there's not, so what is the use of the United Nations? Can the United Nations take action? All the countries that are members of the United Nations, let the UN send forces in Gaza, go and stop the Israeli by force.
But you know who controls the United Nations is the one that back Israel. That's the whole thing about it. That's the hypocrisy in the world.
And this is why the rest of the world need to come together. You know, they think how to talk, man. It's a American talk, and let you leave it like that. But people are getting conscious. The rest of the country, the countries in the world, they are getting conscious, and their conscience is waking up. There is nothing you can do to quiet them down again. It will reach a point. No, the world will reach a point of volatility. It becomes volatile to the point where you can't control anybody. And it's happening. People, I mean, some countries that didn't expect to even stand against some big hands, they're coming up. So the moment it happens, people start getting brave. And this is how.
But you know the interesting thing, Linford? They deny the journalists to go in. But then what happens? Social media is, the telephone today is more powerful than journalists, because the moment you're able to pull some sort of power on your phone, you can do things.
Yeah.
People just found out,
play match it.
They just found out yesterday that the Israeli have built 20 settlements in the West Bank. So as they keep butchering the people out, the building. So that's the intent, is to get them out completely. Look what they did a few days. They said, oh, no UN should carry food in. But they're going to supply food, they and the Americans, right? They carry the place closer to Egypt border. And then while giving them food, they started shooting at them so they can run across the border. That's how wicked these people are. You see? They are very wicked.
But again, you know, my prediction is factual. Trust me, I may not see it come to fruition. It may not be our time, but it will happen. Certain countries will have to crumble. They have to come on their knees and know that you can't be the only powerful. No, those of the people who believe in the Bible, and they hear about the story of Goliath, David and Goliath. So you know, yeah, you can't think you are the Goliath all the time. There's a David. One day they will born a David, and when they born that David, and the David begins to also, you the Goliath, you crumble.
You don't need to go to war, because look, Donald Trump's reincarnation, coming into the presidency again, has opened a lot of countries' eyes now. Countries like Sweden, Sweden was basically, keeping money, spending it on the citizens and spending it around the world. Sweden now they are put in how many $1 trillion now towards nuclear weapon building. Yeah. Sweden has, that's what they're doing. I mean, there's a debate going on. Some people say you put it into schools, prison, welfare. And other people say, no, hey, that pay out on a nuclear weapon. So we cannot be vulnerable, because what the European countries did after World War II, they had an agreement with America. It was a tacit agreement, or what? It was on paper, but in principle, America allowed them, hey, y'all don't do anything by yourself military-wise. We will take care of y'all.
And this is the aim of the NATO.
We will take care of y'all. Now, France tested a nuclear weapon, I think 1996 and 97. There, but before then, France was one of the first European countries that developed it. And America was so pissed off during Francois Mitterrand time. They were very pissed off. But hey, that's the situation now. Besides African countries, but African countries, some African countries might, I know the country of South Africa will start to get involved in that. Because Egypt already built itself.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. Paul, I can see Paul Henry want to come in, but Paul, let me tell you one thing. Every time I sit there and think about this, MAGA, make America great again. I mean, break it down, analyze it, and get to know there is nothing like great America anymore. The economy is saturating. The political system is no more well respected. To have or Donald Trump as president, guy came from business straight into presidency. He will make laws that do not even have any governmental connection. You just wake up one morning, maybe you went to sleep, he had a bad dream, but Paul is okay. Paul not living in the country tonight, going. Okay. So America, to make it great, they have to do something. And sometimes you see, if you see a bully or bully in town, if you see somebody who is a bully, that person has no self-esteem. What they try to do is they want to use other people. They get other people to feel important, to show that they are important. That's what bullies do. So, America to get great again, they got to go at other countries. But again, like I said, other countries' eyes are opening. And my regret until now is, why is Africa supplying nuclear enricher to other countries, but we cannot have nuclear weapons ourselves? Let one Africa, even if all of the African countries will put together and provide the support to one African country to have one nuclear, even if that's just the warhead, let's have it. When Africa have it, it will be equal. No, that's they're talking. How many African countries sit down the UN permanent membership? No, you have Liberia, then they're fighting hard to go get these some kind of member. No. Once 2 or 3 African countries get nuclear weapon, my man will be. Then they get 5 permanent member, will be the 6th member. Africa will be represented because that depending on.
So, Linford, do you know? I mean, before we transition to Liberia, I just want to put out something here. In just talking about Africa, and this, I'll go back to General Landy, what he was saying. The fear factor is, if you have a 34, 35-year-old young man who now getting to be armed to his teeth, the Gaddafi, is a fear factor to the West. And this fear factor now, that one leading to all of this. So when you talk about Africa, I see people at Traore then, because you see, democracy not good for Africa in the first place. So if the 35-year-old young man spend another 30 years in government with that idea, don't you think that he will be thinking that way, that we need to protect ourselves to send people after us? Don't you think so?
But wait, even for me to think so is an understatement. Right now, the reality is happening. It's not only Traore. You got Niger, you got Mali. Now, Guinea is almost foreign suit. The president of Ghana, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Okay, South Africa, right. Forget it. South Africa is in the BRICS. So
right,
America is not even sure of South Africa, and that's why Donald Trump is trying to seek the sympathy from South Africa by saying that that the white clean, anti-white cleansing against the South Africans, and even people. I saw several videos from South Africans themselves. Those guys I went. Some of them were car washers.
So, Linford, before we come to that, this is what happened. I'm trying to, the general who came up with it says, look at what the Russians have done to Burkina Faso lately. with the equipment is sent. It's just about 2 minute clips. Then we can jump into Liberia. I just want you guys to
20 tanker trucks, 4 armored cars, 2 armored buses, and 2 MEMSA type APCs. In June 2024, another significant batch of military and engineering equipment was acquired for the defense and security forces fighting terrorism on the front lines. This included combat armored vehicles resistant to improvised explosive devices, weapons, ammunition, and military engineering equipment, notably excavators, truck carriers, and tankers.
So I'm symbolically handing over the keys to this equipment to you. This is part of the 2024 strategic equipment plan. Make good use of it and begin the long-awaited development of the war. If you're missing anything, come back to me and I will return to the people.
What has been acquired, in any case, maybe the elders, the veterans who say it, has never been seen before in this army. As for me, I'm in logistics, so I know what this is worth. This has never been seen before in this army.
The Air Force, which for a long time was grounded, is about to take off under the leadership of the Supreme Commander of the National Armed Forces, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Mastery and control of the skies are essential factors for victory against terrorist leaders and for building a strong and resilient army. The acquisition of helicopters for troop transport and humanitarian missions, as well as reconnaissance aircraft, combat helicopters and strike drones in March 2023 is part of this vision of the head of state. A significant batch of aerial vehicles, including a dozen drones mainly consisting of Bayraktar TB2 and Bayraktar Akinci models, has also been acquired, thereby expanding the fleet, which can now intervene in very short time frames and provide continuous surveillance of the national territory. 50 SATCO vehicles, 20 tanker trucks, 4...
Okay. You were just talking about Africa. Look, this General Lande who said they want to capacity building because access is growing, they don't need them. This guy get his backup that providing them with ammunition to the for whoever. So when you're talking about to see an African country, this guy could be compared to Gaddafi because the West done what they do, and when Francis talking about Sweden is not thinking about getting nuclear weapon. If they all going to get it, then why not African country can have it too? Because it's these very people that deny other people not to have it, they won't be the only one to have the bioweapons. You see? So our country in Africa must be bold enough to say, no, we're going that direction. And this is where the Pan-African nation come into play. When Nkrumah then saw that this will have to be united. And they saw that this guy gave independent, but they want to colonize also, they call it newcomes. So this is where they need the African unity to stick together and say, look, if this guy go in that direction, we need something to protect ourselves, because one mad person will say, we ain't let black people, they just go boom, dump something on the whole black race. They're capable of doing it. So there must be a black country too that will stand firm, say, look, we have look at Asia, China get it, North Korea, all of these countries around there. Why is a country in Africa can't think about having something like that? Make your point, guys.
Okay, before Francis comes in, let me welcome a few guys again. Eric, Valentin, Pan, Favor, Morris, here, Moses. You guys are welcome, along with Fred Nyampo. But
quickly, Paul. Before I just come for you, Amelo. The uranium that they use, to build the nuclear, we come from our continent. Yes. So what we can use that? We can use it for ourselves.
No,
we can use it for ourselves.
Yeah, we didn't need to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. We can use it for ourselves.
All African, about 5, 10, 15 African countries get nuclear.
And just stop selling it to these people.
Yeah.
Well, if up to 10 African countries get nuclear, just trust me, we get everything we need. We get the nuclear enricher, the uranium, Then we got the thing you use for communication. They Anukopa or Kutan, all the things that you use in the mobile phone, all the things we say we not send it to nobody again. We put ban on it, not send it to nobody until people can sell technology to us. People who can make nuclear weapons, they can sell the technology to us.
But Linford, this is the point. You know the cars they're building today, the electric cars, the real earth mineral coming from Congo. That the reason why Congo is in so much disarray is because they're getting the mineral from there. So if these stupid African leaders, excuse my language, my French, can come together and say, you know
need
what?
to apologize, be very unapologetic if you say that.
If they can come together to say, you know what? We now stand firm. No, not our resources leaving from here there. Their mobile phone technology will crumble. Think on it, because everything comes from that continent. If the continent stand firm, now the continent will be very serious.
But
and
they know it. And let me tell you, Paul, these guys are not stupid. Look, what is the interest of America in a small country like Burkina Faso? That the whole general, and that's why Traore made a statement and say, whole general or general of a great army. Then you come in to talk to one little, because in the military, I think it goes by command and respect. Or little captain, captain. The whole general, 4-star general, that captain you're going to go start talking about, gossiping about. Why you can't fly to him and go say no? Because the moment you go there, we see the general start on your shoulder, he will salute you. That military
is something greater than Rango.
No, I agree. There's something greater than Rango. Once he's a general, when he gets there, I need to be on the top. When he went and sat down different place, start talking about the point. But let me tell you, they know, these people know there is something that they see that they're afraid of, so they don't want that thing to come out. That's why they try to, they say, kill it before it grow. Kill an idea before it grow. But the idea is spreading. The idea is spreading. I mean, when the journalist asking or informing that statement you made, it had a whole continent shaking, supporting from all over the continent. So the guy knows very well. I know the Americans, brother. I know the Americans. If this guy knew that he had case, you're going to stand his ground. But instead he's making accusation that is the epicenter of terrorism. So that his statement, that how he stand, okay. But what about the accusation that you let it? So they know. But again, I think they punch a wrong balloon. They punch a wrong balloon. It has exploded. And so everybody has a fever now. Everybody catching a fever. All African countries. And it's just a matter of time. The last time I told you guys, some things will happen around Africa. Trust me, in the next 4 or 5 years, all the old people who are afraid, they will get out. Either through election or some. We saw something, the thing that was shaking Aroko, the feed, it didn't happen. But trust me, this will happen. And now, when I say, for me, I don't buy my word. That's why, I don't have many friends, because I'll tell you the straight talk. If it is wrong, I will tell you it's wrong. The African nations or leaders that believe that the West can shield them, my friend, you are zero. Nobody, the people can shield you. Yeah? See what happened in Aroko? People just made small noise. The whole place was upside down. And there was no hair, no tail. So if anybody think, someone I think, African can shield you, the lie, brother. When the citizens get ready, no problem. We're going.
Let's take a commercial break and then we transition to Liberia.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink, Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 1114 0777 979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you, in my boy, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Papa Drink Mama Happy, Hans Vodka, the Bottle number one sponsor. Welcome to the Bottle Line. For those of you following on the first time, it's good to have you here. Kindly share the show and follow us. We're here every Tuesday and Friday. At the top of the screen, you see the logo. We have online radio. You can download this from any app stores to get us 24/7 on the radio. Linford and Francie. Liberia. Something happened in Liberia today. The Liberian Council of Churches awarded Richard Cohn. Is that Richard Cohn, the speaker?
Yeah.
Okay. This guy, he was few weeks ago, he was a purported speaker. And then they burned down the Capitol building because of power greed. The whole country went about 7 months in disarray with his speakership. He finally got in. The Liberian Council of Churches decided in their own wisdom to honor this guy who just became speaker less than, 4 weeks, to honor him and the award given to him from my late father-in-law. Guys, do we have serious people in Liberia? I mean, the religious people, to be honest. Do we have serious people in Liberia? What honor Richard Cohn on what developmental thing that he have done since he became speaker? What say you, Francie, and then Linford?
Paul. But the people in Liberia is. Sometimes you wonder where the brains of our people can go sometimes. There's a point where your brain gonna spend time or waiting. I don't know, because look, it's just it's political hypocrisy. It's political patronage. And that's it. We have seen it. These kind of things happening in past administrations. The less of Bishop as a winger and other people, I mean, the Liberian Council of Churches, I mean, I know where Kafuma Conan, Bishop Brown, and the late Bishop Michael Francis, and the Bishop Arthur Kula, and Mother Dukley, and where they are right now is like they are turning over in their graves. Like, what happened?
Bishop Kula is still alive though.
No, I didn't say late. I said Bishop Kula. And those are dead who we asking where what happened to this great organization, the champion of human cause, human rights in our country. I mean, doing. Look, I mean, look, Paul. Look, so many things you do. You can't find the word. You can't find words to address them because it doesn't make any sense. It has no iota of sense. It doesn't make any sense, common sense to anybody. I think they lack common sense and they lack all the senses.
So, Linford, the Capitol building got burned. We heard that there was a arrest made. There were hullabaloo between the two forces, rule of law and not rule of law. They went to court, the Supreme Court came by, they went for Bureau of Information. This so-called Council of Churches sat out there, said absolutely nothing. And today, for their own greed, somebody who barely been speaker for a few weeks is now being champion for developmental award. What say you, Linford?
Linford, let me just 1 minute your time. Just 2 days ago, Speaker Kuhn was speaking at an occasion, and he told the people he apologized for what happened, and they had to do with intentional. They had to do what they did because it has been a tradition in the Senate, in the House, that the ruling establishment will have a speaker, so they had to disrupt. Like right there before you get it, man. The man who said he apologized. I mean, the country ain't serious, man. And go ahead.
Okay. First of all, Paul, you use a word on the Council of Churches that really got me mad when you say in their wisdom. They have no wisdom in their foolishness.
Okay.
Okay, and unapologetically, I say that. I'm no more Christian. I believe in God. I believe in my Savior. I believe in the one that created the world that we're living in. Because even the computer we're talking on, somebody created it. So I know the whole vast universe with all the strange and marvelous things, somebody's responsible. And that's that person that got a breath in me, that I trust, that I pray to, that I believe, I pray to. So anything that has to do with a Christian organization, I condemn it. Once we say you are Christian, I condemn it because Jesus Christ was not Christian. God is not Christian. God did not build no church. So, and then when they came my way, I will deal with them precisely. Those are just, the first said, or Paul, you said, these people sat down for 7 complete months. 7 months. Government almost stood still. Things were happening. People were throwing walls at each other. This could have escalated. It could have escalated into some full-scale war. Imagine that they burned the up to now, nobody knows who burned the Capitol building. And these people, they were not absent, they were not on holiday, they were not dead, they were not sick, they were not in coma. None of them said fine. Until when Richard Kuhn has forced himself, by the help of the president and the entire government, to remove Fonatikova, which was treasonable, and then they coming to award him. So you see, and then that kind of people I go sit down in one house, they call church and listen to. I did it before. And people who know me, I was a strong Christian. Okay? But I still believe in my God very strongly. And I think that's why I think, and since I made a decision to just believe in my God, I think I see the difference in my life. I know it. Because imagine these kind of people, tell me, that judgment they're talking about, God will ask you, did I tell you to go sit down under somebody called one bishop or something? No. God will say, bring your head. So these people, you think that people who saw the thing for me and can't tell me what God said? People who behave this way, I'm sorry. If I step on toes, I'm sorry. But it's just me. That's what I said. I don't have friends. People who ever me, they are my friends. If you ever me, don't be my friend. Because I'll tell you the straight talk. These people are not serious people. They are very greedy. They are there for money. They are there only for their own interest. Okay, what if Kofa have remedied? Were they going to go and work Kofa too? And why didn't they come out at that time to resolve the conflict between Kofa and Kun at that time? Why didn't they come out? But because Kun had won, so they go.
But what development that this guy carry on so much in less than 50 years?
No, Paul, The story is not about Kun. Trust me, for me, the story is not about Kun. The story is about these people, these useless people. Yeah. Does that make sense? You sat down there, the whole country almost went amok. You didn't say anything. You need to come out to go. But again, Richard Kun, the guy is a desperate guy and a good, God is real, and that's why I believe in God. Okay, I don't believe in what somebody can tell me about God. I believe in God myself because I can think for myself. God is real. That this guy, nobody may catching him to start confessing that they just have to do what they did. And when we start on the same platform, we said it that the government was behind this thing to try to remove Kofa so that they can control the house. And you see it, the same thing is coming out now.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
So this is where I believe in my God, because I believe in my God. I know that God is there. But some funny guy can stand in front of me and tell me, say, God say, do this. Who are you? God, I want to talk to you. Also, God. Nobody has seen God. So I can see my own God. I can think about my own God. I know I can communicate with him.
Wow, you can communicate. So believe in God that God can communicate with your God. And God also did wonder today to the deacon, the president of the Republic of Liberia. This is what happened to our deacon. The plane landed, the tire crashed while landing. And this was a scary moment in Liberia for our president. So you see, because he's a deacon, he believes in God, God spared his life. Because today it could have been different thing in Liberia. We all could have been here crying for our brothers and sisters that are on board of that private jet. This is the situation. And the question here is that the wrong way. There was some, I think, beginning of this year or sometime last year, Air Morag landed and escaped the wrong way. They went into they went actually in the grass instead of the wrong way. Is that something that the government need to spend money on to sort that wrong way out? Because this is scary.
Well, again, I believe in something called predestination. Anything that will happen, it will happen. And you see, sorry guys, or for the background noise, or maybe Francis, you can talk if you have the opportunity. But I just want to say that first of all, I praise my God. I'm not talking about those people who can tell about a Christian God. I praise my God, the creator of me, the creator of the universe.
All right, Linford, come back and tell your friends, say, come in. Francis, while Linford sorting, come.
Look, Paul, look, this incident is not unique to Liberia. Just this time around, we had the president on board.
Yeah.
We had British Airways flying to Liberia. We had Air France traveling to Liberia. Delta was flying to Liberia. They stopped because of the same wrong way. These people have been complaining about the wrong way forever. So it's nothing strange, It's just that, in these kind of situations, if God would have it, or the president on board, so that he miraculously escaped, or and he survived. So, God forbid, nothing happened to him. Look, so this is a turning point in the whole airport situation. They will have to focus on our airport because, bro, there's the only country I know. We got the James Springs Airport. Why? We have to divert some of these flights. All these flights that come from within Africa or the small, they ask they go to spring, they go to everything that brother overuse everything. No maintenance. They overused this spring. This app. The runway was already completed. It's not up to international standard. But the international I call it, agent ITA allow them to because it's a country. So sometimes we say bad things happen for the good cause. The president on board, so he will pay attention because he knew he's gonna fly again. So you have to fix it. Yeah.
Okay, Francis, you just took it from my mouth. Like I was talking about God. God, see, when people play, God is real. How many planes can land to that airport all the time? Every day plane land there some kind of way. And why the particular plane, especially a private jet, that is world meeting, because no private jet, the owners can meeting it all the time. They always got in the hangar, checking on the, it's not a commercial jet that one pilot fly and land, and the other pilot take over and go. Anything happen anytime. But again, I want to say that things happen for a reason. These people taking money, $22 million. They say they repair road. We can see the road. The other money can problem behind. They want can problem behind. So God just say, well, say this president is on board. The tire will that that just warning. Say I'll bust the tire first and see how they react. And they're not paying attention to it. You know what they're doing? They start talking, any weapon form against you, that prosper, and they witchcraft, this and that. They're not going to face that. Trust me, they're not going to face that tarmac. They say that witchcraft.
Hold on, Lefa. This is where the council church is going to come in.
What?
This is where they're going to go to the president and they're going to pray for him.
Surely they will come. Because when they pray, then when they go in, they say, Mr. President, let me pray now. Then they will get in that purse.
They get an envelope. Yes.
Yeah. And this is where people make mistake. No. JMB, you president, you get mouth, you get sense, you get brain. You make yourself. That's something that God made you. But you don't need anybody to pray for you. You don't need anybody. You can pray. Your God will you in that plane. So when the hell someone that grew will come from somewhere, can't tell you, say, we'll come and pray for you. It was because of your blessing with God, your connection with your own God, that God help you. So don't let anybody come sit and say they pray over you. That means I need prayer. But that's besides the point. And their president too, he said he will dance with devil just to win election. So right now, now the devil can help you, so that God can help you. So next time, do not go dance with any devil to win, Mr. President. Me, I let him. I can get serious, but soon I let him make it funny, So, Mr. President, next time, say I'm going to dance with angels, not with devil. The power you use, do not dance with devil.
Yeah, man. Look, guys, this is Liberia. I think what they need to do, Francis said it all, it's a warning to the government. They need to do something. But Springfield, it's a small place that can accept small private jet. And it's not used. So it may have better runway than the one that is regularly used. Because that those small plane, the time it take you to leave from Rawafield to get from Springfield to Rehab, it's less than 10 minutes drive.
But Paul, again, the Francis said, no, we finish learning sense. Trust me before the year ends. And we almost in June. Before the year, the last remaining 6 months, JMB government will prioritize our airport. This is the only way that airport will be better. If they print time boss, that airport will be completely better. Trust me, they will refurbish it. If they ain't doing that, they know they're not serious. But this is a challenge. And I put that challenge to them. If this government does not prioritize.
But you know the funny thing, on social media and hearing the thing, people are so something just wrong with us, Liberian. UP and CDC now going back and forth. Oh, that CDC go, but CDC were praying and UP go. So there's nonsense. Instead of saying, how can we prioritize now to get it? Because not only then, it could be me and you go on holiday. There's some nonsense that they could just take people away for nothing. So they have to, yeah.
You know, and sometimes I used to hear it and say, "Where may I get some unemployment?" When I was small, I used to believe it, because when you look at women, all the different airplane that women face it, PPT, because black men get lazy in the hair. Black men we get sent, but we lazy, and we always feel that there is some superpower somewhere that will do something for us. Now, how long, Paul, or what will it will not take your life to fix the airstrip? That thing, okay, airfield, that airstrip right there. Okay, yeah. They go to JFK Airport and they get those star strips where someone are playing, that get complain, they carry there, to carry for a hanger. And that not even Liberian government built it. The US government built it a long time in World War II. Okay, and that's what we're using. The same thing with the free port. So government have come and go and come and go. They can't prioritize it. Maybe something like that was supposed to happen before it be a wake-up call. And now, that's what I'm saying. I hope this government will prioritize it. Instead of saying, oh, the CDC, why the women every day, brother, our airport in Norway, we get several airports around the country here, but the biggest airport, God move. Every day, I go to that airport, I see these people doing some work on it. Every day. Imagine the winter. We get winter here, where the ground is slippery, airplane can land there. The moment before the airplane land, they got someone, I think they will kind of spray on the road. But before the airplane take off, in the winter, they'll go and spray. I know that sort of when they spray on the airplane wing before the airplane take off. But the black men, they will not do it. They will say that somebody now wish them. I saw some posts where they say weapon form against you will not prosper. They're not going to face that. They will say somebody wish an old man. Can you imagine?
This is why I say the council of churches will go in to get their own money. I keep seeing this.
They will prophesy.
Yeah. Because you get Mother Mary there coming in, that the devil is working, they all coming to be, they're going to. But remember, GMB wife, she's a prayer mother as well. So maybe her prayer, her answer her husband call, because what happened today, that is a scary thing we're looking at. So,
and the message that deacon too.
Yeah, so
this is with devil.
But anyway, having said that, I want to say something. Before that, when I left Liberia in 1988 to go to the USSR to study, and what I want to study was airport construction. My return to Liberia, we're going to have the 9 countries are going to have airports. And when I see this thing, people talking about wrong way, I said, but why is it that things can go wrong? Simple thing, we tend to ignore it. And that when it comes to airport, and you said we had a program here the last time. I said, look, how long it takes to even hire the plane that the country can use and get money. Things that they can prioritize. You visit that airport. It's almost like you're going to a car rental. You first Springfield, that you have local planes traveling to Sierra Leone, because if you in Liberia to go to Freetown by air, you got to go all the way Guinea, travel before there's no direct route unless you're using Brussels or Air Kenya that going that way. So this is why you prioritize what generate money for the country. You face that little spot that is need fixing. You look at the Springfield itself, airfield there, hire planes. They get a lot of Liberians, pilots around the world, bring them home, and start running commercial thing around there and generate good money.
But Paul, I remember during those time, or even if I think from Tower time, they used to have these small Cessna planes. The small. I think Francis can remember, right?
Yeah, man. I flew there from Springfield to Harper.
Because I remember they used to go to Weswa, they used to have Weswa Airway, they used to have these small things. You know?
Yeah, but yeah, even Air Liberia flew from there to play in Freetown. Don't have Air
Yeah.
Liberia.
So I remember from 1983, I used to teach on the F to Lapasi. Okay, so one of my students today he's I think he flying jet bomber for the US. The last time he was chartered, he was assigned Italy. I know where he stayed there. One of my students. Okay, his father, Mr. Jensen, was working at the airport there. So you know, I because you're living in Lapasi and you're working to the FE there. No, so I used to go there and I remember that there was several small planes used to land all the time. So what happened to that airport? Is it dormant or I don't understand?
No, the airport is there.
Hey, Bill Park there.
The parks are not interfering with our airport.
No, the park is interfering because
not interfering.
Yeah, it's not interfering because I've been landing in Hong Kong, man. If you go to Hong Kong, you're coming crashing to the building. The hustle, the rent of the airport, my man, the plane, jelly coming script the hustle together. So I want, no problem.
Yeah, but I mean, even before, just after the war, I mean, 91, 92, 93, and 94, that where people are flying from.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I don't see why
Francis, before you leave, let me give you a story that scared me in Liberia. 203. It was Charles Taylor staying in power. It was before 203. There were it was before 203. I can't remember the exact year, but only one commercial plane that could go to Liberia back then. Not even Brussels. Air Westward. Air Westward. You have to fly to Ivory Coast and get Air Westward that the Russians were running. It was tiny little plane.
Yeah, it was Gus could be hanging there.
Yes. My man, I never got so scared until I got in Air Westward. What happened? When we got in Abidjan, we got on Air Westward. The plane was extremely hot, really hot. The thing have to pick up. When it got in there, the clouds started coming in the plane, my man, leave for. I said the thing scared the devil. Everyone, people started praying that cloud was coming in the plane to cool off. So this situation with Liberia is an age-old problem that they need to look at. See, when you up there, when that thing move from under you, you finish.
You finish, bro.
My brother, if the people cannot prioritize those kind of things, then I see what they will prioritize. Because no, you can amass all the riches. You can get all that money. The moment you sit down in that plane, you finish.
Yeah.
When you in plane, your life is 99% away. No, that 1% you breathing. You dead already. Once you're in the plane, you're dead until you can land. Trust me. Yeah. So if you cannot prioritize the airport, but me, like I said, it was very unfortunate, but of course it's that peculiar. I mean, Google Airport plane can skid off the airway. I mean, or the wrong way, the tire can pause and whatever.
No.
It can happen. It's normal. But you know, places like RRA, imagine some part of the wrong way that cement, the other part that asphalt. It's not even quality asphalt. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And that special kind of asphalt they used to make the airport. It's not like when you get on the road.
No.
Because the plane tire, if the plane landing yellow on it, I see it kind of smooth and can come from there. That whole tire burning. That tire burning. So you go get some
yes, the Liberia Airport Authority trying to do damage control now. They're saying that the according to somebody, an anonymous source, that the plane, they had smoke coming in the plane from the plane before it landed. So the plane will have had a problem because the plane from 1986. So.
Wow.
The Gulfstream is 1986 plane. Yeah, 1986.
Almost.
It's 36 years old.
Wow.
And this plane, according to the guy, I mean the soldier, you should have had a flight engineer on this kind of planes. Because, you know, the pilot can't do it alone. You need a flight engineer on a plane. So typical African people, no flight engineer. And according to the airport authority, I just read the article just now. And it was smoking.
So how did the airport authority arrive now they are becoming IAETA or
but they have to have people that know about those things in there. So
I mean
you got to find excuse.
But you have I mean that mind you have this guy at the airport there. You're in the army, you're in the air reconnaissance unit, you've been in the army, you've been around the world. I mean, like we're saying to America, what the guy need? Smith School? Oh, he named somebody. Oh, yeah. But that was according to the from Africa, that what was said, that was written at this, it was smoke in. But I think it's damage control. They don't want airlines to be,
the airport manager doesn't want to lose his job, so they got to come up. That's why I say, how did they arrive at that? Because if airplane made,
they said they saw the smoke
from the plane. They were on the ground. They saw the smoke from up.
Yeah, when the plane was landing, they saw the smoke already.
So then, what was it out? That is smoke.
Yes, it's not easy failure or something.
They better have that airfield. Start giving excuses.
Look, the thing is, I mean, the reason why I said before we go, Liberia need to spend money, especially for the first family. What am I saying? First family, the president. You cannot be hiring private jet or look. Sierra Leone got a plane. Burkina Faso, Russia can send plane for them, so they need plane. That one is okay. But why we can't just hire a plane? I mean, for Christ's sake,
I heard that I think some government agency, legislator or somebody had on one talk show that they are considering buying a plane worth, I think, 41 million or 40 million. So you can use exclusively for the presidents and other government officials traveling from here, within the sub-region,
Well, that again, then we come to General Langley. You see, safety, we're talking about safety, right? Then General Langley will get mad. Yeah. But you see, the thing is, Liberia is always, I don't know, Liberia that they know matcha. We can hear. You can hear move from them. We can only hear no Maya. He say, we tell the child move from there. No, he claiming say move from there. You not hear until we fall and say no man. Say So the way they want happen, so we did not come and face that airport, or even if they say they going to face it, government allocate money, somebody will eat it, then they go put quota water what it does. The next day when it ring, everything move. No,
but you see, friends say they for how long? They 41 million they're trying to get a buy plane. Where would they get that money from? The way USA not giving money again, they use it not giving money. And we cannot raise my man, in our budget, when people bring a budget, we can look at it. And we cannot raise money that. So where that's going to come from? Because when you say
it's no money, borrow money. Borrowing is nothing but Liberia. Oh, okay, they're going to borrow money. They're borrow. We had to borrow all our money.
Liberia, leave your credit back.
Yeah.
So we had to borrow all our money. That's small thing. Then other government can't add it.
Guys,
yeah, man, I think it was a good show, guy.
Yeah.
But on the average, I think we thankful to God that nothing serious happened, and this should serve as eye opener or warning, serious warning that it better you die in the air than you reach from all the way, or you get down already before you go down. Yeah,
but he has similar problems too at that airport. President said he has similar problem, but it was not severe like this one.
Yeah. This all the thing I want it, brother. I want it. That you're too soon. That airport been there from almost 70 years, 80 years. Yeah, how long it will take to fix it? There you go.
That's a good.
Who's the
There
show
you
up
go.
over?
I think we'll get a council of churches to go to the airport to consecrate the airport so nothing can happen again. Because
I know, right?
yeah, man, guys, it was a good show. And to our audience, thanks for being with us here. Linford, Francis, give your party comment. Then we take. Oh, let's do our commercial first. Then we'll do the or whichever way.
No, we do the parking we play a commercial. You're close.
All right.
Yeah, no, but guys, I mean, no. On a serious note, the situations that the president and his entourage had while the encounter was very serious. It's about time that the requisite authorities responsible for the airport and the government take some actions that will remedy the situation at the airport. That airport is not only the wrong way. The airport itself, the terminal is freaking hot. No air condition. The little escalator they got there, sometimes it doesn't work. So yeah, I hope pray that the people in their wisdom, like the council of churches, will find reason to fix that airport before something worse happens. There'll be more lives lost unnecessarily, and then to the situation in Gaza. We urge the Western countries and allies of America, of Israel as well, to surmount more pressure on Israel so that they can agree to a ceasefire, a long-term ceasefire, so that the people of Palestine, their life, and dignity will be restored. Basically, General Lange was a complete mess. He couldn't defend himself. So Burkina Faso is a trailblazer. Other African countries will follow that suit, and we hope that the continent will change, and we will have people running across the Sahara, running, dying in the ocean, across the world just to come to Europe or go to America for greener pasture. It's time for African leaders to rethink, open more corridors for our people, opportunities. Yeah, guys, that's it for me.
Ninfa?
Well, I would like to start with the Gaza stuff, and we also how this lady was boisterous, very boastful about killing 30,000 people when you have some 100,000 people who have died, and can you imagine that's the population of whole nation? And we hope that this carnage will stop, this nonsense will stop. There's no pleasure in even killing a chicken, not alone, let alone human being, and then you can boast of killing 30,000 outrightly like that, and and those countries that are responsible for sponsoring this carnage, this mayhem, this human rights violation. When they talk about human rights violation, that's it. Most of the people that you kill, you don't know them. They are not taking arms before. They are not members of Hamas. Not everybody in Gaza is Hamas. Okay, so you kill all these people on a large scale like that. Those countries that are sponsoring this thing, that are supporting this thing, including our own European countries, I hope they should stop and put pressure on Israel to stop, or else the rest of the world will wake up. And when the rest of the world wake up, it will be what I'm predicting to be the world war. And sorry, don't hold me responsible. It just made my mind telling me that this will happen. And I've never made mistake. Sometimes when I predict, I predict. So I hope that the rest of the world will see reason to stop this thing. We kind of General Langley, brother, man, you black man, don't get you. Black people are not stupid. Don't let the people use you and make you to think that you represent all black people and we are stupid. How can you can lie that what they got Traore is using the gold to protect himself? And then all of a sudden you turn around again and say, oh, but that are right to use that gold the way they want to use it. So why make you talk like that in the first place? So now even the people who send you, they now see that you're stupid enough. It's not making sense. So they say maybe you might just lost your job. Yes, seriously. They say they come up for outside. You might just lost your job. They might call you to command headquarters and then give you some nominal position or retire you right away. And then, I saw one post, somebody said, when you're playing a video, somebody said, the guys, I need presidency. No, hey man, let black people forget about American presidency now. Forget it. Because if any black candidate come now, the people will not let you go. Barra was just exceptional. And he messed up. The people tried him, but he messed up. Or they had a mission for him. That mission was accomplished. It's finished. Gaddafi, if America will go, because America went into Iraq, they got rid of Saddam Hussein. If they come to Africa directly and get rid of Gaddafi, they will say, oh, the white people killing. So the use of black men. The mission is over, finished. Simple as that. My reference is that book called The Visible and Invisible Governments of America. If you read that book, you'll know the whole thing, what goes on at that place. So, General Langley, you are a brother, relax. Brother, you still getting money. You don't got to lie, you still get paid. But then let me come to Liberia. And Liberia, this is unfortunate that we'll be using one airport that was built by Americans military a long time ago during World War II for that jet. Paul, have you flown, or any of you, have you flown along the Atlantic coast, like from RIA? Because when you're in a plane, you can't actually see it. But if you're in helicopter, you see it. If you fly from RIA, because along from RIA to Habel, all the way going to along the coast, you see big tankers. They're looking to how to LPRC.
Yeah.
They were the Americans were fueling their ships and all that thing. Nothing I said there. Still that bush.
Yeah.
So that plane, that airport in that Liberian government building, the same thing with the free port of Monrovia in that Liberian government building. But because our people are so corrupt and lazy, they do want to improve on it. That's why it's like that. Look at that tech free port of Monrovia. Tell us something. Google ships that can there. Okay. So we hope that this one will serve as eye opener. Let the Liberian government, JMB, that really want in a plane, that you yourself were in that plane. I know when that plane landed, when the tire burst, the way it was shaking. So, caution, do something. They want by you do nothing, then we know that Liberian government, that's right. Paul, thank you. Have a good night. I think we're bush.
Yeah, and I want to say thanks to you all and thanks to our viewers for being with us tonight. And I will not repeat what you guys said, but it was a good show. Next week, we'll be looking at Donald Trump and the deep state. Is Donald Trump in control or the deep state in control? Because presidency in America does not mean you run the show. The deep
visible and the invisible governments of America, brother.
The deep state decide what you do.
Yes.
So this is the situation now. Donald Trump, who been saying the peace ambassador, but then you have the guys that produce the weapon. If they're not happy with you, then you're in deep trouble because it's all about they create wars, they sell their weapon. And if you want to stop war, then the deep state will not be happy with you. So we'll be looking at that. And also, what have now scared a lot of Europeans today that Sweden and all of them have nuclear weapons? Because while Germany have now started something that the Russians said you can use any other weapon, but any weapon that comes from Germany is forbidden. They will strike Berlin. And this is the scary part. So everyone now is scared. So we'll be looking at that on Tuesday. So guys, it was a good show. We'll back here on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. And we'll leave you with our commercial.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink, Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.